Hi folks, welcome to the preparedhomestead.com. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. I was planning on doing this video outside, but it is so cold and the breeze, it's not super bad, but it's just enough that it's freezing up my phone. Phone does not like the extreme cold weather, so we're back inside today. I was gonna try to be creative and be outside, and it's just a little too much. It's cold for me, but especially for the phone. Anyways, I know we've asked this question a few times and we've talked about it, but boy, is it heating up in the Middle East. And I guess the question is when is World War III, the active engagement of World War III starting? Has it already started today? I mean, we know that technically World War III has been going on for a while. It's just been more of a Cold War that's just slowly heating up. But things in the Middle East, they're taking a pretty serious turn for the worse. Just in the last 24, 48 hours, a lot of stuff coming out. A U.S. flagged cargo vessel was struck in the Middle East by the Houthis of Yemen. This, I think, is pretty serious for a few different reasons, and I'll get into that here in just a second. And then some ballistic missile strikes happened in northern Iraq near the U.S. consulate office, and already the Iranian Republic Guard or whatever have claimed to do that. They admit it. It's us. We're doing it. We're striking targets near the U.S. consulate office and green zone area and all that kind of stuff. So there's all kinds of things happening. This cargo ship that was struck, I know that a lot, and I agree with this, that a lot of you are saying that this whole thing of this war between us and the United Kingdom so far and Yemen is a joke because, you know, they have hardly any military to speak of other than just manpower. I mean, they have rockets and missiles. That's about it. And then, you know, lots of people. But they can do damage to us in ways that they don't need a big navy or anything. Already, because of what they're doing there in the Red Sea, they have slowed down shipping considerably, which has caused shipping costs to go up. So it's putting a hurt on the American and especially the Western economy, really the whole world's economy. I mean, the other day they accidentally hit a Russian ship, an oil tanker. But they've said that today that they will start targeting U.S. ships in that region. So, and they've hit one. I saw videos of it. It's pretty significant. And here's the thing. Not only is it going to continually affect the cost of shipping goods, it's going to reduce the speed. You know, more and more companies are going to say, listen, it's not worth it going through there. We're going to go all the way around Africa. It's going to take much longer. It's going to cost a lot more, all this kind of stuff, you know, especially when you go down there at the very southern edge of Africa. You've got, you know, a lot of rougher seas and things like that. So, but we'll do it anyways because it's better than getting blown out of the water. So there's gonna be a financial increase, a financial burden because of them. But here's the other thing. Now that a United States flagged ship has not government, but, you know, commercial ship has been struck, the question is now, is the United States Navy that has been, you know, the protector of the world, the enforcer of the petrodollar for many decades now, are they no longer really capable of protecting our own shipping? I mean, I've said already since all this has started that while the odds of them hitting, you know, doing any real damage to like a naval ship or even ours is not really high, but it's not zero. Meaning that at some point, eventually, a missile or rocket's going to get through, and even though it may not sink the ship, it's going to cause damage. And the damage, regardless of the financial aspect of the damage, it's the psychological aspect. That's really where it's at. And so now the question, I believe, is going to start being asked, especially around the world, is the United States Navy not even capable of protecting its own shipping? Because apparently it's not now. I mean, one got through. With all of our technology, one got through. That's not necessarily a knock to the U.S. Navy. It's just the fact that you can't stop everything. I mean, it's just not possible. to stop everything, especially if it's a constant barrage. At some point, a mistake is going to get made, or one is just going to, one of them rockets are going to be just a little bit faster or just a little bit better in that moment. And it really just takes a split second to get past, the defenses. And so we've got, while there's obviously World War III type problems, that's just building and kind of expanding with sending more troops over there, more resources over there. Now Iran is openly attacking Iraq in areas close to us, and all of the other stuff. We now have to deal with the fact that our own Navy is not capable, obviously, of 100% protecting our own shipping. And so this is going to most likely just continue to escalate. We have to be prepared for this. The shipping stuff alone is enough. The fact that World War III is really, in my opinion, started. Now that's just my opinion. I'm the I guess uneducated in that aspect. It's just based on my own speculation of it. But will we actually hear or see a declaration? Well, probably not. We haven't had a real declaration like that in a long time, so I doubt that it's going to happen. It's just going to be a unified global police effort when it comes to this, just like many other things. Also remember that, and I know it's not directly connected, but it is connected, that here we're just 2 or 3 days, I think, away. Let's see, today, 4 or 5 days, whatever, away from the World Economic Forum's meeting in Davos. They're going to try to regain the trust of the world and to talk very much about this disease X that they're planning on. Well, you know what's going to happen there. All that connected with, or going alongside with, what is transpiring in the Middle East, especially, but also China and Taiwan, Russia and Ukraine. It's just a big boiling pot. It's a pressure cooker, and it's building and building and building pressure, and it's going to explode at some point. At some point, it's very likely that things are going to, in some area, get out of control. Now I know that there's a lot of you that, well, maybe not a lot, there's a few, there's always a few that say nothing's going to happen. This is going to boil, just kind of cool off, and nothing's going to happen. Well, I hate to break it to you, but things have already happened. I mean, it's already happening, okay? The question is how much bigger and more expansive is this going to be? And I think at this point, it looks like that it will be. I mean, sure, it may kind of eventually fizzle out, but there's too many factors going on here. There's too many players in this. There's too many hot spots that are building that reduce the odds of nothing at all happening. This will definitely affect us. We also have to remember that I would guess, because this is traditionally true, historically true, that I would guess that the Biden administration wants us to be in a war at least by the election time, because it will be beneficial, statistically speaking, historically speaking, it will be beneficial for a sitting president to go into a re-election campaign in a state of war. And so the odds of that happening because of that are getting pretty serious. Already it was being talked about in the last couple of days that Germany is gearing up for war. They're talking about the end of this year to the first of next year, that they're saying publicly that they expect to be at war with Russia. It's probably sooner. Usually if they say that far off, it's probably going to be sooner. It was just like, 6 months maybe ago, the United States government said that they didn't think that China would make any kind of move on Taiwan until at least 2027 or 2028, and yet China has announced that they will in fact, absolutely guaranteed, they will retake Taiwan as their own territory that it's always been this year, not 3 years from now. So if Germany is saying that, it may not be till 2025, it's probably going to be this year. That something happens. Will Russia actually make a move on Germany or even any NATO country? I don't see the likelihood of that right now, but the big question is there going to be some type of false flag event that would propel NATO or Russia to kind of paint each other in the corner, purposefully or not, to get involved? That is very likely. We have to be prepared for this. Just because right now most of these conflicts look like they're only going to happen outside of the United States, you can never ever forget the fact that there are 10 to 20,000 people coming across the border on a daily basis, and that many of those people, not all, but many of those people, come from countries that are known adversaries of ours, or they hold religious beliefs, or they may be trained, they may be even paid to come here. We know that there are active terror cells within the United States. State Department, FBI, Justice Department, they've all said that. That's not a big secret. That's not a conspiracy. And the very strong likelihood that more and more people are coming across the border that would do those sort of things are increased also. And so this fight could be the first fight in a very, very long time that could be also held here on the U.S. soil. And that's where you and I really come involved. Because it's not just going to be, financial burden. It's not just going to be an increasing of the debt or an increase of the police state. It's also going to be an increased likelihood that the actual physical conflict could be had here on U.S. soil. And everything right now is so fragile. The everything. It's like it's right at the brink of just blowing up out of control here in the United States, whether it be through civil war or foreign domestic, conflict inside our borders. We have to be prepared for that. We have to be aware of that. And I've talked at length in the last several weeks about being situationally aware of where you're at and what's going on, being aware of people that you've never seen before, people that look like they don't fit in, people that, and I'm not saying everyone that speaks a foreign language is bad, but if all of a sudden you start noticing groups of people in your area that don't speak English, they don't look like they've been there that long, it doesn't mean that they're bad, but it might mean that you need to keep an eye on it, or at least be aware of it, because you don't know. It's not racial profiling or anything. It's just being smart and realizing that all of a sudden people from another country have shown up in your area and you're not really sure yet of what their intents are. So you kind of keep an eye on that. Be prepping up, be working on your own defenses, personal defense, especially when you're out away from the home. Definitely be making contacts with people and building relationships with people that are like-minded, that you can know and trust. And then I say this all the time, and I know I'm a broken record and many get tired of this, but if you're living in a place that you feel is going to be more prone to this or less capable of being defended or surviving, then you probably should leave. Get out of these cities and get into some rural parts of the country. It's not perfect, but it's definitely going to be better than living in high population areas, because in the end, it's people that are going to be the worst ones to worry about and deal with. Need to be thinking about this kind of stuff. Things are picking up pretty quickly, and the way things are happening, I'm not making a prediction at all, but I'm saying it wouldn't surprise me if we're only days or just a few weeks away from things really popping off. I mean, at this point, what's happened the last 24, 48 hours, we could be hours away. But definitely days or weeks away is a strong possibility at this point, just because of so many things that's happening and the increase of the intensity of it. So, keep your head on a swivel, stay alert, and keep preparing as best as you can, because who knows at what point do things kind of spiral out of control. And then, like I said, with things domestically, some type of terrorist attack, it could be against infrastructure, utility, electric grid, water supply, all communications. All of those things are strong possibilities, and so we have to be aware of that and have a plan in place to to take care of ourselves, to protect ourselves, to survive if those kind of targets do happen. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order and to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.